Right, welcome guys. This is the spoiler review of Terminator Dark Fate. So if you don't want spoilers, then actually check out this review up here. This is my non-spoiler review of Terminator Dark Fate. But we're going to just absolutely go into spoilers on this film. So first and foremost, what I'm going to be asked is basically, do I need to watch this film? Look, if you've seen Terminator 1 and Terminator 2, no you don't. At all. It is undeniably just a rehash of Terminator 1, Terminator 2, with ideas from every single movie speckled in there, but also a whole lot of nonsensical things which they've just managed to create. So look, let's break it down, okay? I'm going to tell you the story first, to then get into why certain elements didn't work. But I actually can't really recommend this film for Terminator fans because they've already seen Terminator 1 and Terminator 2. I will say this, it's not a terrible film. It's just pointless. It's just needless. Like, you've already seen it. And everyone's comments about it being a much needed invigoration into the franchise, if this goes the way I think it's going to go, it's still a really big fuck you to everyone else. Any Terminator fan. Because this is just Terminator 1 and Terminator 2. But you kill off John Connor. Yes, that's right, he's dead. And I think they're then going to go towards the future war. Which is what everyone fucking wanted anyway. But now you're not going to have John Connor there. So you've just replaced him with someone else to then take us to the end point that we all wanted. So anyway, whatever. Let's get in. Like I said, I can't wholeheartedly recommend it. It's not terrible. If you've got a free weekend, you've got literally nothing else to do, go watch it. I haven't seen Zombieland. I'm going to go watch that next. That one might get more of a recommendation than this one. I don't know. I never do recommendations out of 10. I don't do any of that stuff. But I can't recommend the film because you've seen the movie already and you've seen a better version of it. So let's get into the story, right? Story. We open up with narration. No, sorry. We open up with the police interview, the psychiatric ward interview of Sarah Connor. And that's good. Everyone is very good in this film, by the way. Except for Natalia Reyes, Danny Ramos, the new John Connor, who is just utterly useless. And is very, very funny that she's useless. Because when she goes to suggest to do something, literally everyone puts her down and tells her no. So even in story, she's useless. So anyway, we open up with the videotape interview, and then we cut to presumably Mexico, where the machines are coming on land, which is the narration from Sarah Connor how Judgment Day was going to happen, but she stopped it. And then when that happens, it's all of about 10 seconds, basically. Well, if that, it's about 5 seconds. And then the Terminators disappear because she stopped Judgment Day, basically. And then we cut to the Mexican bar, the scene where John Connor gets 2 shots to his chest with a shotgun. Now, the digital de-aging is great. There is a very small speaking line. I don't know who did it. It might have been Edward Furlong. But all of the comments from Arnold Schwarzenegger working alongside Edward Furlong, I don't know whether he did. It's very difficult to say it. Jude Colley was absolutely the stand-in for John Connor. They may have used Edward Furlong as a bit of facial mapping, but he's literally not there, so I don't really know what they did. The digitally de-aged Linda Hamilton is very, very good, but she doesn't move, so take from that what you will. And then it's over. He kills new Terminator, Carl anyway, kills John Connor, and he fucks off, and that's it. So that's the opening of the film. It really is a big 2 middle fingers to everyone else. And a lot of people saying that it needed to happen because of story development. I really do disagree. And the reason why I disagree will become very apparent later on. But we'll explain the rest of the story. Then we flash forward to basically Danny Ramos living her life. Natalia Reyes' character. And then the 2 new Protector, which is basically the Carl Reese character. You know, I told you you'd seen this movie before. We get the Carl Reese character, Mackenzie Davis, Grace, who is very good, actually. She is very good in this. Believable, badass action star. I liked her in Blade Runner 2049. I want to see more of her. It's a shame that I don't think this will be a breakout role for her, though. But she was very good in it. So she comes, as does new T-1000 Light, who is not in it nearly enough, and he's a bit pointless as well. He doesn't really do too much. He's not as menacing as he needs to be for this to be worthwhile. So they all land in Mexico. Obviously, they go about their business. Like I say, you've literally seen this movie before, so they go and do exactly the same things, right? Rev 9, T-1000 Light, buggers off to try to find Natalia Ray's Danny Ramos, as does Grace. She goes off to try and find Natalia Ray's Danny Ramos. They find each other at the working factory, the car factory, Arias Motors, and then the biggest action set piece of the movie happens, which is the chase scene on the motorway, which we've seen in the trailer. The trailers literally show everything, and by the way, no, the CGI has not improved. It is exactly the same as the trailers. So again, make from that what you will. There appears to be no practical in this film, and a lot of people have given me flack for holding this film to a high standard. No, I've held this film to the Terminator standard. The Terminator films are highly regarded and renowned for not only good special effects, but groundbreaking special effects. And this is neither that. They are just fine. I saw better special effects in Godzilla King of the Monsters, for God's sake. Okay, this is very Uncanny Valley. It's not to say that it's not overly bad, but it's not particularly great. And a lot of people will say, yeah, but it's supposed to be Uncanny Valley because he's a robot. Again, I disagree. The T-1000 in Terminator 2, every time it changed and morphed and moved, it went fully silver. Now, that might have been part of the restrictions of the technology at the time, but it holds up to this day because we don't actually see the facial features of the T-1000. We do with the Rev 9, and it looks bad when it's changing so much because it is too Uncanny Valley. So anyway, that big chase ensues. Sarah Connor saves them. They start to crash. We get some future war scenes, but it's very minimal. Hilariously, the spoiler video I did where I said, look, here's the audio from the videos that I had from my source on set. That dialogue is exactly in the film from the future war. And that's basically it. There's a little bit of a chase that ensues. We see the trailers are quite literally, step by step, in sequence, the movie. Okay? So we go chase on the road. Well, no, we go Arias Motors fight, chase on the road. We then go to the Border Patrol area. We then go to see Carl. We then see the airplane fight crash. Then we see the dam. And that's the end of the movie. Grace dies at the end. Arnold dies at the end. And Linda Hamilton and Danny Ramos bugger off. And that's it. There's not much substance in there. Like I said, Natalia Reyes is utterly pointless in this film. She replaces John Connor. So the story is, and this is why this film is pointless and doesn't really make any sense at all. It doesn't hold up to any level of scrutiny. If you shut your brain off and enjoy it, fine. Fine. But I don't think most Terminator fans will be doing that because they will be very much annoyed with John Connor's death at the start. So much so they're going to be trying to ascertain as to why he died. And there is no point. Okay? Danny Ramos is the future leader of the Resistance. She is. She has no training. And this is the funny thing. John Connor's character has been built up for this, massive future war. He was trained, etc., etc. The story is framed as such that Danny Ramos is just Danny Ramos, the future leader of the Resistance. Doesn't have any training at all. In fact, she's some piss annoying little girl that we meet in this film. The events of the film don't make her who she becomes. So it doesn't really make any sense. Now, she's just the future leader of the Resistance. They still call them Terminators. They still call them HKs. But the future with Skynet never happened. Legion, an AI supercomputer, rose to power instead. So why do they call them HKs? Why do they call them Terminators? That's a huge, weird coincidence. Doesn't actually make any sense. The only reason they found Carl, the Terminator, was because Grace's sergeant or colonel, commanding officer, tattooed the coordinates to his shed on her body. Carl doesn't know anything about the future. Carl dies. Carl doesn't know why or how or what they know of him and how that even occurred. Neither does Grace. So like I say, you've seen this film before and it is better. This film is fine, but it is utterly pointless. Because people will say, yeah, but the story was done after T2. And yes, it might have been done. It might have been done entirely. But take us to the future war. A lot of people will say, yeah, but Edward Furlong looks like trash. So get Norman Reedus to play John Connor. It doesn't have to be Edward Furlong, for fuck's sake. Just don't kill off the character of John Connor to replace him with a female John Connor. That's literally gender swap. And you've just told the same story, but put a woman at the forefront for no reason. Again, I like female characters that are strong. Linda Hamilton looked great in this. She was great in this. Mackenzie Davis was great in this. Awesome. I reviewed Ready or Not, the pseudo horror film based on hide and seek. The Samara Davis character, I think her name was Samara Davis, the actor. She was astounding. She was a badass. So it's not, again, before you little pissant little wankers go, oh yeah, but it's because you hate females. It's got nothing to do with that. It's story and the point to the story. This movie has no point. It is pointless. So like I say, the reason why Carl has become more... And this is the other thing. Arnold Schwarzenegger is absolutely fantastic in this. He is good. A lot of directors and filmmakers forget that he is actually quite funny. He has very good comedic timing. And he was very good in this. But I don't know how much I want my evil robot from the future to be funny, if you see what I mean. I didn't mind it. Like I said, I've just complimented him. He was good. But I'm in two minds of whether I thought that was worth it or not. It's just pointless. The whole movie is just pointless. You've seen this film and it's been better. So I've got nothing else really to say on it. I can't wholeheartedly recommend it. They spent a bucket load of money on this and the effects are not good. They don't stand up to the standard of Terminator. And that's the thing. That's what annoys me the most. Well, among other things. And it basically closes with what I thought was the leaked ending of the film. It was the leaked ending of the film. Danny Ramos, Natalia Reyes looking at a park, looking at young Grace, and walking off into the sunset because Grace sacrificed herself to save everyone, as did the Terminator Arnold Schwarzenegger, as he said, for John, and died. I get it, but it's just pointless. This is a total cash grab. It is wholly unoriginal. And a lot of people saying it's the best movie since T1, since T2. Well, that's not a fucking high bar. And this movie, quite frankly, is just a rehash of the first two films. So if it was no better than the rest of the films in the sequel, then you didn't really do a good remake. So anyway, I'd love to hear your thoughts. A lot of people have seen this film now. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. If you're new here, make sure you do hit subscribe. You can stay up to date on the world of pop culture and movie news by hitting the bell notification icon. Yeah, let me know. Anyway, guys, I've been Mr. H. Take care.